Hey everyone, hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. Hope you guys had a wonderful day. Well, I'm back again to do a little bit of doodling sketches tonight, so hopefully those who are watching at home, hope you got your own sketch pads on hand. You can probably just doodle along right with me, or you can sit here and watch and just kind of chill out, just like I'm gonna do for tonight. So, what I think I will do for tonight is I feel by drawing two cartoon characters, more specifically two cartoon cats. And so, I'm gonna start with one famous cat right here, Tom from Tom and Jerry. So what I'm gonna do, gonna lightly kind of start work on his pose here. And here I'm gonna have him where he's actually holding something, he's pointing at it. You'll see what it is as we go further along in the stream. Let me get his overall pose together with. And I can see, for his body, he has a very like circular shaped head. He has a very long, like tube shaped body. And like I mentioned in my other streams, it really helps to break all these characters down to simple shapes. Makes them much easier to draw that way. You kind of get his ears. And also, I'm lightly kind of following a reference, not relying on it too much, but I have it on hand just to make sure it stays on model, even though I'm not going to stick to it too heavily. Get his little cheeks going. Let me get his ears. Get his here as well. Let me get his arms. Oh, I'm almost got his neck. Let me get his other arm as well. Let me kind of drive his long, like tube-like body. Let me draw his legs. And his long feet. Of course, his tail, because he has a very long, wispy tail. That's looking pretty good. And also, I think I'll draw another cat as well. I think I will also draw Sylvester. So I got one famous cartoon cat here. I think I will draw another one. And I think as I'm drawing this thing, I think maybe what I'll do is have a little story going where basically they're both chasing their own enemies. Where Tom normally chases Jerry, Sylvester chases Tweety. But in this case, it could be a scenario where they've actually caught each other's pets, where Tom actually catches Tweety and Sylvester actually catches Jerry. And that could lead to predicament from there. So let me go and draw his pose. You get his face here because he has pretty wide. He has a much wider face compared to Tom has here, like wider feathers, not wider feathers, wider fur, but shorter ears compared to Tom. You can see he's got a much larger nose. Let me give over our expression. Let me get his long tube-like body as well. Let me draw his other arm here. Unlike Tom, like Sylvester's legs tend to be a little bit shorter. But also like Tom, he has very large feet too. Like I say, he probably is a little bit larger than Tom's. So make sure I have those nice and prominent. We also get his tail as well. All right, so now we got our basic rough sketches down. Let's start refining them just a bit more. So I think what I'll do, I'll go store on Tom over here. We'll make his expression more pronounced. I want to give like a puzzle, kind of quizzical expression. Because here you can see he's actually wondering what Sylvester's pointing at. We get his little muzzle. You get his little cheeks. Be his other cheeks as well. Also, let me get his ears. Get his long, nice, pointy ears. Get those going. Make his arms a little more pronounced. We'll make sure they're both around the same length. Because that's always want to keep in mind, as you draw their arms, make sure, they're both around the same length, because it's very easy, depending on what position you have them drawn in, like one could look longer than the other, or it can both appear too long, they can both appear too short. So it is something to keep in mind as you're drawing them. You draw his other hand here. Make sure I have a clenched fist, because whatever he's grabbing on, he's holding on to it really tight so it doesn't get away. And make sure his long tube-like body is more pronounced. And have that lead down into his legs. There we go. Let me get his tail. I think I have it curled down a little bit more. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. We start refining Sylvester a little bit more on this side. And make sure his nose is a little bit bigger, no more pronounced. We bring up his muzzle. His is a little bigger and it's not as round as Tom's. We get his mouth. He's got a wide, gaping mouth. It's big enough to fit the mice that he wants to eat. Get his eyes. And we get the side of his face before the hairs. And see it all come down almost like in one. It almost come out in two like big like crescent shaped curves on either side of his face. They'll have those straight hairs here. We get his ears going. We get his arms. Have that thing will make his hand a little more pronounced. Have that pointing finger really pronounced. Have it very obvious and clear. Because Thomas pointed at me wondering what he's got. Sylvester knows exactly what he has. And he wants it back. So you want to make sure that pose is very nice and readable. Get the other arm going. Let me bring his legs down a little bit more, bring the feet down a little bit more. Have his big feet come out a little bit more too, because he's got very wide feet. Then we'll have his tail come out here. Have his curled fist on his left arm. So now I think we're looking pretty good. Let's start refining it a little bit more. We've already used, our red pen here. Let's start going off the blue. So basically, I'm going to kind of refine all the initial steps we've done. Just going to refine it to start fine-tuning the expressions, fine-tuning our strokes. We redraw these eyes so they're all facing the same direction. Get his nose, which is nice and black. Let me get his lips. They're kind of pouty, almost quizzical expression. Make his eyebrows thicker at this end because Tommy has very thick, like hairy eyebrows. Let me get his ears. Let me get the side of his ears. The fur that kind of sticks out just above his neck. There we go. Also, let me get his whiskers, give him two on each side. Early on, in old Tom and Jerry cartoons, he actually used to have three. But what happens after a time, in animes, they found it a lot more simpler, just draw them with just two instead of three. Plus, a lot of times they would forget that they had three, so there'll be none of like animation goofs where in scenes where he's supposed to have three whiskers, he only has two. So they figured might as well just go and just stick with two, since that was more comfortable for them. Let's make his finger more pronounced, especially his curly ones right here near the wrist. I think while I'm at it, maybe want to draw Tweety here too. Especially since this is actually the thing that Sylvester is after. Tom has it. Let me make sure he's actually in the mix. I'm drawing very small, but just recognize also you know exactly who it is. You bring out his little tube-like body. Get his little legs going. And we get the little band that covers his belly. Just one long band. You get his little web toes. Get a little change of color underneath his little ankles. You get his tail right here. His nice curling tail. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Good, good. So I think we got Tom looking pretty well. Let's get Sylvester looking better as well. So I'm going to start. I'm going to go and start his nose here. Make it a little bit more triangular at the bottom. Because it's got a round nose. I noticed I had it a little bit too round. Get his little muzzle for his mouth. You get his tongue, bottom part of his lip. You get the sides of his face. There we go. You get the other side going. Then you get his eyes. And you see he has larger eyes compared to Tom. Both have like radically different designs, but they both have like similar features. And you'll find out as long as they've been around, like both of their designs haven't really changed all that much. At least not in the past couple of years. Like I think Tom's has changed more than Sylvester because I know in the beginning, back in the very first like Tom and Jerry cartoons, like he actually looked more like a regular house cat, and where he was a lot more scruffier. He kind of ran around on fours, a lot more fluffier. He kind of like smaller eyes. They were designed to look a lot more cuter than rather than the funnier ones they went later on down the route. He even went by a different name, Jasper. And Sylvester, he kind of went through huge transformations himself, although not as much as Tom. But what's interesting with him is that I know in the beginning, I know if they had a few prototypes of him where he was designed to be much skinnier and scrawnier. And even at that time, he went on a completely different name. In some cases, it was unnamed. I think forgot which episode it was where they finally decide, actually give him a name and give him a design that they want to stick with. Because that would be a thing that will happen in these older cartoons, like especially if you watch a lot of old ones, you'll find out that as the years go on, like the artists and animators, they were constantly just like fiddling around and improving their designs, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't, see what looked more appealing to viewers, see what they liked the best. Let me get his tube like little torso here. And his little band, it pretty much kind of goes all the way down his body. There we go. Let me get his little leg here. All the way down to his large, like, webbed foot. You get his little ankles here. You get his other leg as well. His other wet foot. There we go. His other ankle right here. Let me get his arm going. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm loving how well this is turning out so far. Let me get his little curled wrist right here. I think for here I'll draw Jerry. Whereas like Thomas captured Tweety here, Sylvester actually captured Jerry. So let me kind of draw him just kind of slowly kind of peeking out from his fist. Can't get away, but he can see just to realize, the predicament, what's going on. Hey, media collector, how you doing? Glad you decided to join the stream. Let's get his ears a little pronounced here. And they're kind of nice and round. Almost like Mickey Mouse ears, but not that round. Gonna have his feet kind of poking from underneath his little fist. And they're not big as Tweety, so I'm not gonna have them come out like I do over here. I think once I'm done with this one, I think I will draw a drawing of Mickey Mouse once I'm done with this one. Yeah, so that sounds like a good idea. Let me get his tail. And now it's looking pretty good. All right, so I think we're looking pretty good here. So since we're almost close to done with this one, let's start adding more finishing touches. I'm going to start coloring in Tom. I'm just going to use our little blue marker to start coloring in the ears. And I was going go very lightly to begin very light strokes. Because Tommy's always had very like light, bluish, almost like grayish fur. stand by. Oh yeah, with this picture, I'm definitely gonna color these two in. And when I do get around the Mickey Mouse one, once I do get time to do it, I'll actually color that one in as well. Because even though I normally work, with ballpoint pens, we're doing like red, like yellow, excuse me, red, black, and red. Do have some color pencils with me too that I'll use to kind of color this whole thing in. So I'm just gonna very light, just very even. As for the red, let me go and color in his ears. In fact, oh, thank you. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. In fact, stand by. Let me go get some of my pencils real quick. This will just take a few seconds. Stand by. There's a few more I need to get. There we go. All right, here we go. So I think what I'll do now, since I got this yellow one here, let me start coloring in Tweety. Let me color him and have a bright yellow because, of course, he's got bright yellow fur. Granted, some of the details are a little bit kind of scratchy, but I'll refine that a little bit more when we're almost done with this one. Maybe we'll color in Tom's eyes because Tom has yellow eyes. There we go. That's looking pretty good. As for Jerry, since he's got like brown fur, let's color him brown. Oh yeah, the both of them, Tom and Jerry and Mickey Mouse, they both rock. Yeah, you are not lying about that. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Then we go and cut it inside of his ears. Kind of a pinkish color. Now, Thomas the Tank Engine, I may not have time to do him tonight. I think the only much I've really to do is these two, and then Mickey Mouse. Thomas Tank Engine, I'll probably have to do that for my next stream. I appreciate the suggestion, though. I really do appreciate it, though. That's looking pretty good. Give me just one moment. Had another pencil I just dropped for a moment. I swear, I just had these pencils. All of a sudden, I just started dropping them out of nowhere. Well, I don't see it. I'll come back to that one a little bit later. So I think what I will do now, I think with our black pen, let me start coloring them in. And I'll start going in, just kind of color, his black fur. Wow, Barney and Bobby. I haven't thought about those shows in years, especially from watching like PBS and Nick Jr. Maybe kind of color in his mouth. Yeah, I'm gonna be coloring all black, just kind of going the same direction. There we go. Just going all the way down, around his entire body. Once I'm finished, I cut coloring in his fur. I'm gonna start refining these outlines a little bit more too. Sprout. Me like people. I'm trying to remember, is that like a programming block? Is that the name of a show? I remember hearing that name. I just can't remember if it was a show or maybe a programming block from a while back. But I do have vague memories of that too. We get his other leg here. Also, we get his arm. Sunny Side Up show. I'll be honest, that one I'm not too familiar. To be honest, that might be a little bit, the might be a little further past my time. It might be I think some of these newer shows I hadn't really heard of. Trying to think, is that like on Nick Jr.? Is that like on PBS Kids? But yeah, a lot of those older ones that get mentioned, like TNJ, Mickey, especially Barney. Like I remember watching those all the time growing up. Because pretty much how my schedule would normally go whenever I watch cartoons, because I usually Nick Jr. in the morning, then of course Nickelodeon like on the afternoon, then of course Cartoon Network pretty much like for the rest of the evening, pretty much all night long too, because I would pretty much spend just like the whole night with just like watching various cartoons. And every now and then, I would tune in like Disney Channel as well. I'll watch the stuff they would have. And usually when I tune to Disney, you will be Iron Will. I don't think I have. I don't think I have that to be honest. I've heard of it, but I don't have it on DVD to be honest. Let me get his little feet going. Let me get his little eyebrows, Jerry's eyebrows. Get his little ears going. I think as I'm doing, I'm kind of starting to outline both of these characters right now. I'm getting like fairly thick on outline, so I know they'll pop a little bit more. I always let my characters stand out if I have them like giving like very thick outlines. There we go. Do I have Thomas Friends on bottom DVD? No, I don't have those on DVD either. So I think the last time I think I ever had either of those shows on home media, that'd be years ago. I used to have them on VHS. But I remember as a kid, growing up, I used to have a whole bunch of like Barney like VHS. Parents would play all the time. I don't even know if they still have them. To be honest, they probably got them in storage somewhere. But I remember having a lot more from Barney than I did from Bob the Builder. Let me go and do Tom next. Get his outlines going. There we go. Let me kind of darken his nose because he's got a dark, like black nose. Oh, you have a bear in a blue house, the chest tape. Oh wow, that sounds like it must have been wonderful. Yeah, I've never had any tapes or VHS, that show, but I remember Big Blue House. That was another show I used to really like when it came on. I've heard they brought it back. I don't know if it was a reboot or if it's like a new season, but I've heard it's actually pretty good. Let me color in Tweety's feet. I didn't realize I hadn't colored those in. We color it orange. I don't really have orange on me, so I'm just gonna use a like of red and yellow, which makes orange. Here we go. Let me get this little outline here. Just thicken it up. Oh, you lost it? Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. That always tends to happen, with like with DVDs, especially tapes. Once we start kind of moving around, like moving stuff, they get lost. They get put away, so we can't figure out where we put it. I know that's pretty much happened with a lot of my old like VHS tapes, like the ones I didn't end up tearing up by mistake because I would always rewind things all over. Like a lot, I think I just put it in like in storage. I never got on actually getting them out. But I remember the tapes that I had. Like I had a lot from Barney. I think I had a lot from Blue's Clues. I used to really love like watching Blue's Clues. I think another one I think I used to have was like the Rugrats movie. I remember having to play that one a lot. Oh, it's on Disney Plus. Oh, nice. Might have to give that a look. Let me get his little eyes here going. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good here. So, I think we're good. So we both got Tom and Tweety, and also Sylvester and Jerry. So I think that one's looking pretty good. So I think we can move on to our next person, which will be the big mouse himself, no, Mickey Mouse. So I think I'll go ahead and start with very kind of a rough pose just to get up his rough pose going on here. Oh, Roly Polio, I remember that one. That one I do remember. That was a pretty good show. Yeah. This is like a really rough like gesture drawing just to get his pose right. They'll have him posing, kind of like kind of fancy attire. Make us get his pose going. Let me get his legs. Get his feet. Stand by. Give me just one moment. I think I'll go and start, with his face. Since he's got a very like large kind of circular head. And of course, he's got his eyes, his big white eyes. Yeah, now that one I have heard is on Disney Plus as well. Because unfortunately, I don't really have Disney Plus as of right now. I know one of my relatives has access to it though. So occasionally, every now and then, if I spend time, at their place, we happen to turn on Disney Plus. We'll check out the new stuff they have on there. Because as far as they're uploading like new stuff, like just about every other month. So let me get his little nose going. Get his little cheeks. And, fun fact about Mickey's eyes, they used to be like just regular black dots in the old like black and white cartoons from like the 30s and 40s. But it wasn't until I think around like Fantasia. I think it actually was right before Fantasia where they decided, give him these regular eyes right here where you have like these little white pupils with black irises. Part of the reason they did that, but one, it was kind of by accident because they felt it'll be a lot more expressive for him, but also it actually happened by accident because I think before Fantasia, I think they had I think Walt Disney had his own like special party to kind of celebrate the animator's good job on I think on Snow White, and they create like invitations, for the party, and one of the artists who wasn't familiar with Mickey at the time, they just drew him, with like these eyes right here. And apparently, someone had asked about them. He asked, "Does Mickey supposed to look like that?" And their basic response is like, "Well, he does now." Oh, thanks. I appreciate you subscribing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind, being friends. I'm glad to know you like my work. I'm just glad to know to have company tonight. Yeah, that really means a lot. Yeah, so I figure I'll give him a nice kind of fancy hat that he's kind of posing with. Figure out Mickey drawing a little bit, looking a little bit dapper. I'll give him sort of a dapper attire. He's probably got a flat, kind of like wide brimmed hat. We draw his arms. Kind of give him like a little cane that he's carrying. He draws his little arms. Let me get his little finger going. Then I'll give him a bow tie. I think a bow tie looks pretty good on him. A bow tie. I'm having him dressed like in a tux. Let me draw his pants. And of course, his signature, like big, like yellow boots, which will be colored in because I will be coloring this in as well. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Alvin and Chipmunks to Squeakle. It's been years since I've seen that one. I remember finding all the Alvin movies be okay. I think I like the first one the best. I know probably my favorite like Alvin movie. I think mine's best. It's actually not one of the newer ones. It was actually one done like in the '80s. I think it was called. I think the Alvin and Chipmunks like Travel Adventure. Forgot what the name was, but it came out in the '80s. And funny enough, it was made by a lot of folks who worked with Disney at the time. It had a lot of like memorable songs. It's really fun. I honestly think it's probably the most underrated of all the different like chipmunk movies. Definitely recommend checking that one out. In fact, let me see if I can try to figure out the name. Let me try to remember. Chipmunk Adventure. The Chipmunk Adventure. That's who it was. Alvin Chipmunk's The Chipmunk Adventure. It came out in 1987. Yeah, it's an older movie, but it's still a good movie. Let me get his feet going. Let me get his other big shoe as well. Let me get his little cane. Let me get the collar of his suit jacket, his little blazer. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good, at least for overall pose. Let me use our blue mark to kind of refine it just a little bit more. Let me get his little nose going here. Let me get his nice warm smile. Because that's kind of a big thing of Mickey. You always want to make sure he has that warm, inviting smile. There we go. Actually, bring up his ears just a little bit more. There we go. We have his hat come out a little bit. It's a little wide brimmed hat. Hey, Barry Jones. It's good to see you again. How have you been? Yeah, you came just in time. We just started a brand new picture with Mickey Mouse. And just to catch up to speed on, we already did one with Tom and Sylvester, and also with Sylvester, also with Tweety and Jerry. And this is how that turned out. And so it turned out fairly well. So we're actually getting ready to start on a new one right now, with Mickey. And so basically, this is it right here. So right now I'm just kind of like refining our pose that we made, our little sketch. I'm just so it's readable. Make sure it's not too off model. It gets a little bow tie. We get the little pals of his suit, his little tuxedo going. Here we go. Let's get his little pants. Give me just one moment. And of course, let's get his little like nice, like big yellow shoes. Yeah, Mickey's probably the only character I know that can rock like big, like yellow boots. It takes a person of a certain stature and a lot of charisma to actually pull it off. Find a way to chat and live streaming. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, glad you were able to figure that out. That was something I didn't really understand myself. I'm still kind of getting new to the whole streaming biz. So, it's kind of like a learning process. Let me get the little cane going. There we go. Let me get his other hand right here. Let's say he's actually kind of like tipping the little tip of his hat. Yeah. So you expect me to see streams more often? Oh, good, good. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the streams more often. Yeah, it really feels good, kind of be a kind of sketch for you all, just so we can all kind of vibe out, have a good time, and sketch, just to kind of enjoy ourselves. Because that's what we want to be. I just want to be kind of a relaxing, like kind of enjoying experience. There we go. That is looking really well. Really good. Let me make the ears just a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to go. Remember, we are friends. All right, Mia Collectia. It was really nice meeting you. I'm glad you're able to join the stream tonight. Yeah, hopefully I should be back probably around the same time as this coming on like Thursday or Friday. Because I usually like to stream on those days. Things I'm kind of sketching out. I'm gonna start coloring these ears a little bit. And no, I will add some more color to this later on. I actually appreciate that suggestion to color in the other one because funny enough, that actually was something I was thinking about doing. So I like thinking myself, do I want to color this in? Add some more colors than what I normally use. But I figured, and you mentioned that, I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and go for it. So I really appreciate you bringing that up. I think I'll color in tuxedo a little bit more. Based on this kind of color, and the suit kind of be like kind of a dark bluish color. I think I have a little band for his hat too. Take care. Yeah, you too. Yeah, you too, man. Yeah, I hope you have a great night. There we go. I think what we'll do now, even though it's not quite done yet, I will start going ahead and adding some color. So I know one thing for certain. Let me go and color in his yellow boots, his little yellow shoes. to have those nice and bright. Same for this one. I think he'll have the little brim of his hat, have that be yellow as well. And as for his bow tie, gotta have that be. I think I'll have that be red. I think he looks good in red. I think I'll have that be red. Same for as his hat. That's gonna be red as well. So I'm just gonna color that completely in. All right, see you later. Give me just one moment. All right, see you later. I hope you guys have a great night. Here we go. It's looking pretty good. Now let's start refining our outlines a bit more. So I'm gonna use our black pen again. Let me color in his nose. I think I got a little circle here for his highlights. I'm gonna color that in all black. Let me color in his eyes. Color those in all black. Let me get the side of his face. Let me go and color that in. Make that more pronounced. Let me do his little hat. Tell you, this has been a really productive night. I wasn't sure whether or not I had time to do at least 2 drawings tonight, but turns out I did. You'll add a little black here for a little shadow going, for a little bit of shadow. You go and color in his ears. Make sure those are nice and dark. And next thing, I want you to try a different art style. I'm curious what it would look like. Oh, okay, and thanks for the tip. I'll see what I'll think about doing when I do that next one. Because even though I tend to do like cartoons, even though it tends to be my big thing, I will experiment with other stuff as well. So yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Thanks, Barry. Let me just finish coloring his ear here. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Let me get his little arm. Well, his hand, really. Let me get his fingers. His glove, like white gloved fingers. We get his little arm. We draw his little collar. We get his little bow tie. Give me just one moment. And make sure the lapels of his tuxedo are looking good. And you get his shoulders. Let's get his other arm here. Let me get his fingers for his hands resting around his little cane. Get these legs. Because I think once I'm done, I get these outlines done. I think that'll pretty much be it. I don't see any much else I could really add to this guy because these are looking pretty good already. Just kind of color his ears, kind of darken a little bit more. You got a little bit of shading on his suit here. I'll just get a little bit darker on his legs. In case anyone out there that's watching, I not only do my own artwork, I also post my art on DeviantArt. That's where I do a lot of my art posts. I also do post art on Tumblr. I do some of my art on Instagram. I do an art station. I need to do more on art station anyway because I haven't really used that site as much. But if you want to find out the links to those sites, they're all in my like YouTube profile. If you want to go check them out, yeah, they're all ready and available if you want to look at them. Yeah, let me add a little shade underneath his eyes. Since it's kind of tipped down, his eyes are gonna be in the shadow. I think what I'll go ahead and do, let me go back with the blue, just for a little bit extra shade, so it looks a little more natural. We kind of shade, his fingers a little bit. You get underneath his nose. And I appreciate you all that have been kind of sticking around like for the past, like hour. You kind of darken it here at this little corner. There we go. That's looking good. Let me shade underneath here, underneath his neck. Do I want to do YouTube as your only job? Uh, I don't know. I mean, as much as I do like doing these live streams on YouTube, I haven't really considered myself really doing it as like a sole job. I wouldn't mind having being one of my jobs. I don't know if I want to be my only job. 'Cause, my best case scenario, like aside from doing these videos, I wouldn't mind being kind of like sell my own art as a freelance artist where I could actually like do commissions, sell my own work and shop. But that's more stuff I really want to do. But like YouTube, like as a job, like I don't know if that's something I'd want to do like as my only job. I wouldn't mind doing it as a job, but not my only job. But I appreciate the question. I really appreciate asking. And plus, like since YouTube, like this is still kind of a new thing for me. And I'm still kind of assigned that's something I want to keep doing for a long time. Do I want to do it part-time? Do I want to do it full-time? But at the same time, I realize, YouTube has gotten so popular lately, especially among artists. I figured it's something I want to experiment with, see if I like it. And so far I really am liking it because it's great to have an audience that's actually willing to kind of watch these videos. It's great that people are having a good time. And we have the little shadow underneath. Had the shading on his feet. Let me alternate using the red pen again. We kind of darken the brim of his hat a little bit more. There we go. Let me kind of color in his feet a little bit more. I think I'll darken that yellow, make it a little bit brighter. There we go. And I think from the look of this, we are just about done here. So that's, Mickey Mouse in a suit, looking nice and dapper. And in fact, I think that's why I'll go ahead and call this piece Dapper Mickey. Dapper Mickey. All right, so that's 2 drawings for the price of 1 stream. I hope you guys really enjoy, watching this stream as much as I enjoyed drawing these. Hope you guys enjoy, like Dapper Mickey. And also, I hope you guys enjoy, our Sylvester and Tom unpair. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that as well. And tonight was a really fun stream. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I should be back probably around the same time, I think on this upcoming Thursday. And I hope to see you guys again soon. All right, thank you. Have a wonderful night.